Hi, I'm absolutely amazing. I can say we're feeling very great to have you on my show, which is Yes Sanjay Agrawal show. So first of all, I want to introduce to my audience that today we are having a special guest, Mitali from UK, and it's a great pleasure to have you on my show. And one thing I will say, ma'am, that we are having featuring 50 guests from 50 nations. So our
Oh,
target is
wow.
that, and we have completed four guests from four nations. So we are proceeding with that, and you are fourth one, ma'am. So
I'm
it's
very grateful to
absolutely
be the
amazing, ma'am.
UK one.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, before we proceed, so can you share something about yourself
Okay, so
to
what
our
I
audience?
do, first of all, thank you for having me, Sanjay. So what I do is I'm a book coach. I've been a ghostwriter for 5 years, ghostwriter and copywriter. And then last year I decided I want to teach people how to write their own books. So I became a book coach. So that's what I do now. I have a 90-day program and I teach people how to write their own business books. So it's specifically for coaches, consultants, and speakers who want to put their message out into the world and have a professional published book. I've also got my own book coming out on February the 19th, which is interesting, Sanjay. It's very interesting being not a ghostwriter and an author.
So, first question for this, what is the importance of writing a book nowadays?
The importance of writing a book, I would say it's now more important than it has ever been. A lot of people think, oh, well, everyone's online now. Do people even read books anymore? Actually, in a strange way, because we have so much noise online, it's even more important for an entrepreneur to stand out and write a book. I always get people to imagine and say, okay, think of all the people, think of all the entrepreneurs that you know. If you ask them, do you have a business card? Yes, they do. Do you have a website? Yes, of course they do. Do you have social media presence? Yes, of course. Do you have YouTube? Do you have Facebook? All entrepreneurs have this now. Because in fact, it's the opposite now. If you don't have a website, if you're not on social media, people say, what's wrong with you? It's 2021. Why wouldn't you have those things? But how many entrepreneurs are published authors? So it's a real differentiating point. The other thing is, as human beings, this is beyond culture. All human beings on the planet, we treat things that are abundant, we treat it as, oh, I can have it, I can take it, it's no big deal. And things that are scarce, we look after. We think, oh, this is important. This is, for example, diamonds. I don't even like diamonds. I think diamonds are boring. I prefer sapphires. That's my precious stone. But everyone loves diamonds. Why? Because there's not many diamonds on the planet. So if you have a diamond, it's very expensive and you look after it. Something that is abundant, you don't care. Paper's everywhere. It's no big deal. So this is a human thing. This is not a cultural thing. This is all human beings on the planet. Because we have so much noise online, I mean, you just go, I can't even check my Facebook feed. A year ago, I made a pact that I will no longer check my Facebook feed because I would
Right.
lose hours of my day just looking at what different people have posted. There's just so much information. You can't assimilate all that information. So we think of it as, I will look at it when I want to look at it. But think of how you feel about a book. It's very different. You never throw away a book. Even if you don't read a book, you'll give it to a friend or you'll donate it to charity. But I've never seen anybody throw a book in the bin point, when everybody has websites, when everybody has blog posts, when everybody has everything else. The way you differentiate yourself is I'm an author. And that's what I do for my clients. They do so many different things. I have a student at the moment who's a life coach. I have another guy who is an an Amazon FBA coach, completely different thing altogether. I have a lady starting in February who's a financial planner. So they do completely different things, but they want to be seen. The lady who's a financial planner, I think there are over 300,000 financial planners in the UK. They all have websites, they all have business cards, they all have all those things. But how many of them are authors? And she knows once she becomes a published author, she will no longer be seen as she's just another financial planner. Now she'll be an authority on financial planning. She's an expert on financial planning. She'll now get asked to do radio shows and podcasts because she's an author. So that's
Right.
why I think it's more important now than ever that if you want to be seen as different from your competition, if you want to charge more for your services and be seen as an expert in your field, not just one of many, but just, in a minority, then writing a book is the way to do it, because everything else everyone has all the other stuff, but not everybody is a published author.
Absolutely. Nowadays, like in 21st century, it is very, very important to have a book. If you are a published, like a coach, life coach, or speaker, author, mentor, anything else, but you must have a book which showcase that you have something inside you that can be known by writing a book. All right. So that's a good point, I can say. And one point also come here, like how can somebody start a writing a book? Like
How can somebody start?
yes, somebody how can start writing. Before
Okay.
that, we need to give a name. So how can we choose a name? What is the first step we should write?
Okay, so I would say we do a lot of people make the mistake of writing a book in the same way they read a book. So first of all, you see the cover, then you read the introduction, then you start going through chapters. That is the absolute wrong way to write a book. The way my students do it is they do not write their books sequentially, because I found out I've written 7 books, well, 8 books now with my new book that's coming out. I now know how to make it as easy as possible to write a book. So the first thing you do is you don't even think of the title. Title can come later, because you might think you have the most amazing title. So you end up wasting a day or 2 days thinking of these amazing titles. As you're writing your book, other titles will come
Mhm.
to mind. Also, there's another thing. What you might want to do after you've written the book is look at what are the best keywords for your niche. And then the keywords will inform what your title is going to be, especially if your book is going to be on Amazon, which it needs to be, because Amazon is the biggest book seller in the world. So if you don't put your book on Amazon, you're crazy. Your mind42.com is a mind mapping software. It's free to use. Anybody can use it. So you can put the links to this, with your podcast. It's mind42.com, completely free software. Anybody can use it. But what it allows you to do is allows you to literally create mind maps. So what my students do is they have the book in the middle, and then they have little arrows going to the chapters. And then each
Right,
chapter has arrows showing sub points that are going to go into that chapter. And even the sub points have sub points. So their mind map,
right,
by the time they finish with it, it looks like a spider's web. But every single thought that is going to go into the book is in the mind map. And I
right,
stop my students from writing a word. They're not allowed to write anything until they have a detailed mind map of every single point that's going to go into the book. Only when they've recorded that, then they're allowed to write. And because
right.
they do that, my students write books in 60 days. 60 days, they're done. I have one student who
60
was
days.
writing his book for over a year. He was writing a book. But with me,
Yes.
he's got 3 more weeks left. He's actually ahead. So I don't even think he'll need 3 more weeks. He's only been in the program for 5 weeks, and he's got more written in his book than he did a year previously. Because before, he just thought, oh, I have an idea and I'll just start writing it. That is the wrong way to write a book, because that is when your mind will change. As you're writing, your mind will change. Like if you're driving and you think, oh, maybe this way is better. Oh, no, this is wrong. Maybe I'll go that way. Whereas if you have a satellite navigation system, you're not thinking. It's telling you where to go. It's the same thing with writing a book. If you have a mind map and you put every single thought into the mind map, you can't go wrong. You can't change your mind. Everything is already there. Now you're just following the directions of the mind map and writing your book. So that is the first thing.
Okay. Like as you said that it is very important, and it took like somebody 2 months and somebody over the years. All right. So what is the estimated time? Like if we calculate like roughly, we take like how much time or how long a person can take to write a complete book?
Well, my students take 60 days. It's a 90-day program. So 60 days they
60
write
days.
with me, that I coach them. So I coach them, first of all, how to plan their book. Then I coach them how to write the book. And then the final 30 days, it's a done for you service. So I take their finished manuscript and I publish it to professional standards because I know how a book should look. I know a lot of people think, oh, I can just upload files to Amazon. And no, this is why you then get these horrible books where things are wrong. For example, the chapters start halfway down the page. It doesn't have page numbers. There isn't a copyright page. There isn't a bibliography. You have to remember the reason why you're writing a book is to be seen as an authority, as an expert, whatever it is you do. So, for example, you might be a strategy consultant or you're a fitness coach. There's so many strategy consultants. There's so many fitness coaches. But if you become an author, you'll be seen as, oh, you're not just a normal fitness coach. You're an expert fitness coach. And that's when people want you to go to their radio shows, their TV shows. You get invited, you get an article in a magazine because you're no longer just a normal fitness coach or a normal strategy consultant. You're an expert. However, that only happens if your book looks like a professional book. If it looks like, and you see some of this stuff on Kindle, unfortunately, Sanjay, you see these books and you know that an amateur has done it. Someone's just uploaded something onto Kindle, and that will do nothing for your reputation. In fact, it might even damage your reputation. So the final 30 days, I provide a done for you service because I know what a professional standard is for books. So I do that. But they write the book for 60 days. And if you plan using Mind 42, and the second tip I will give your listeners, Sanjay, is this is quite strange because a lot of people laugh when I say this. I don't recommend writing a book. Now, that's strange because people think, but you're a writer. What do you mean don't write a book? The reason why I say don't write a book is I've realized, because I've written 8 books now. When you write a book, as in when you type, you can physically see the words forming as you're typing. Because you can physically see the words, you start to edit while you're writing as well. So I will write a sentence and then say, oh, no, this word sounds better. Oh, no, this sounds better. Right. Oh, this I meant. And you start editing while you are writing. This is why the first reason why some people write books for years is because they didn't plan correctly. And the second reason why people write books for years is because they are editing and writing at the same time. So my students, what they do is I have 3 transcription services that I recommend that I've used, and they're very, very good. I find out which one works best for that student, and I hook them up to a transcription service. So they dictate their book instead.
Absolutely. Okay. We got an idea that how to start writing a book and how to edit the book. And then comes one problem that those people who are non-English speaker, that those people who are like Japanese or Indian, we can say, because Hindi speaking country and different countries are there, those who are not good at English language. So do you think English is a barrier for them, or can we take as an opportunity also?
I think everybody can take an opportunity. First of all, India, a third of the world's population is in India, so there's nothing wrong with, especially Hindi. I mean, Hindi is one of the major languages in India. So you could do that. I would say it's good. It's a good idea to have a book in the English language, mainly because it is the #1 business language of the world. Even India. So I used to work for a bank many years ago, and I was sent to Noida, not far from Delhi, to train a team in this bank. And I found it really interesting. It was one of my very first trips to India. And I found it very interesting because when I would go into the staff room or the breakout room where people are having a break, everyone was speaking English. And I was like, why is everyone speaking English? Why, okay, on the phone lines, they're a call center and they're mainly looking after UK customers. So of course they're speaking English. But in the breakout rooms, I thought people would be speaking Hindi, Urdu. And then I found out the reason why they were all speaking English is because they had come from all over India. And India has so many different languages in all the different states that the common language was actually English. English was, and my mind was blown, Sanjay. For you, this is normal because you live in India, so you understand this. But for a British person, I didn't know this. I thought everyone would be speaking Hindi and Urdu. I didn't realize that when, I went to this place, all these Indian people from various different states all over India, their common language was English. So first of all, for that reason, an English book is a good idea, because you reach more Indian people by having a book in
Right.
English, because there'll be some people who don't understand Hindi, or they don't understand Urdu. They speak Marathi, for example. So you completely alienate them. Whereas if you put in English, lots of people do understand English. So that's the first thing.
All right. Right.
Secondly, if you are worried about, you know, the English and how you speak English, you can dictate your book in whatever Indian language that you have. And then all you have to do is pay someone to translate it. That's what a lot of people do.
Right.
They write a book in their language, and then they get somebody to translate it to English. Then you can do an English version. So there's no barrier. A lot of people think that, oh, I can't do this because my English isn't good. There are so many authors out there where English wasn't their first language, but they had the courage to write a book, and now their business is doing very
Right.
well because of it. So don't use, a lot of people will use, I always say, the people who don't have the courage, they will find any excuse. Okay. I would think of so
Like.
many people in the UK who speak beautiful English because this is their first language, and they still don't write a
Right.
book. So it's not because you don't
Right.
you speak English very well. It is an excuse that you're giving yourself. If you are passionate and you want to succeed in life, you'll find a way to succeed. Even if your English is terrible, you'll find a way to succeed.
Right. Absolutely, because some people we are having also, they think that yeah, we do not know the exact English or like correct English, so it is becoming difficult for us to write the book. So for them, this answer will be very helpful for them. I'm sure that.
There are people out there to help you. There are editors out there who will help you. You can hire an editor who will actually, you can even tell the editor, okay, I need a lot of help here, because my book is with the editor right now. So I have an editor who's going through my book, but she knows that English is one of my main languages. I was born in England. So she is a specific editor who is looking at things like grammar, but she's also looking at structure of the book and that kind of thing. Sorry, I'll say again. So yes,
Yes.
the book cover used to be very, very important, because people would go into bookstores, and your book cover is what attracts people. If you have a book cover that doesn't attract people, then it doesn't matter how good the content is inside, people won't buy it. Now, the book cover is still important, but less important, because people now go to Amazon and they type in keywords. So now the cover doesn't matter so much, because now if the keywords are correct and they look at the book and think, yes, this is going to give me the solution that I'm looking for. So for example, my book, The Freedom Master Plan, is all about how to use a book to position yourself as a thought leader. So some of the keywords that people might search to find my book would be how to become a thought leader, freedom from sales. So that's one of the key things in my book, is how to use a book so you no longer have to sell anymore. People come to you and want your services. So they might put in, I don't like selling, or something like that. If they see my book comes up and it looks like, oh yes, this will answer the questions that I have, people will buy it. So the book cover is not so much, it is still important, but not as important as it used to be. So the next step is to find a graphic designer. Keep your cover simple. Don't get, lots of people start getting, they want to put all this art on their book, and it's not important now, because
So not be
people,
fancy.
yeah, don't do fancy. Don't do fancy, because first of all, when people are buying books now, they're seeing a thumbnail this big now. So if you're putting all this fancy things, they can't even read it anyway, because it's so small on Amazon, they can't see it. So it's no big deal. So try and keep it simple. That's why I said, once you've written the book, now is the time to start thinking about what the title and the subtitle will be. Think of what keywords people would use to find your book, and try to incorporate them into your title and your subtitle. If you don't put in the title, the subtitle is important. The title, you can make it a little bit fancy if you like, because you want it, Some people don't like, for example, my book could have been how to be a thought leader or how to be an expert. That's quite boring. So I called it the Freedom Master Plan. But then some people
Freedom
say,
master plan.
yeah, but the freedom that's vague. I don't know what kind of freedom are you talking about? This book could be a novel about somebody who's escaped prison, for example. It could be many things. But I wanted a fancier title because I thought, no, I don't want a boring how to be this title. But my subtitle is how to become a thought leader and gain freedom from selling by becoming a published author. So my subtitle is very specific. It's for people who want freedom from selling, who want to become an expert, a thought leader, and how they do that by becoming a published author. So if the
Right.
title doesn't have keywords, the subtitle must specifically say, what benefit will your reader have once they've read the book? So that's the next thing to look at. Always hire a
Right.
great designer. Because of that,
Absolutely.
it doesn't really matter if you're only on Amazon. Now, I would say there is a very good company called Ingram Spark. What I plan to do is I plan to upload my book to Amazon because it's the biggest bookseller in the world. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload it to Ingram Spark, because once it's at Ingram Spark, then other online bookstores and even physical bookstores, if they wish, they can order from Ingram Spark and Ingram Spark will send it to them. So,
Right.
but that is it. I'm not going to actually spend time pushing for it to go into physical stores or other online stores, because I'm not a fiction writer. I'm not a poet. If I was doing those things, then it's important to have the big reach. But because this is a business book, this is a different way of using book marketing. So just
Right.
Amazon, even if you just do Amazon, it's enough, because people are not going to really just discover your book. Strangers are not going to discover your book. They're going to discover your book through you. So say, for example, you, Sanjay, you're asked to speak at an event in November. You could increase your authority by being a published author. And then at the event, you could say it's a big event and you don't want to give loads of books out. Say 1,000 people are attending. It will cost you a lot of money to print 1,000 books and give them to people. So you say, hey, you do a speech. The audience think you're amazing because you've given them all this learning. And then you can say at the end of the speech, if you want to learn more, go to Amazon and get my book.
All right. Okay. Like I got your point, and next two step remaining. Okay. After we'll come to second phase. Okay. First question. Like we published our book on Amazon. So how can people get to know that we are available on Amazon, and how can we promote that book?
So that you promote it
How to
by
reach out
everything
the
that you
customer?
do, everything that you do in your business. So, for example, I said in the beginning that being a published author differentiates you, because not many people are published authors. Everyone has websites. Everyone has webinars these days. Everyone has, seminars. All these entrepreneurs are doing all these things, but not many of these entrepreneurs are published authors. So, in the same way, think of all the things you do in your business. Let me give you an example. So one of my clients in the US, what he used to do is he used to run Google ads to his free course. It was a free course he had, um, how to do ads, how to do Google ads, Facebook ads, that kind of thing. He used to do a free course. So he would do Google ads. So if anybody typed in, how do I do a Google ad or how do I do a Facebook ad, his offer will come up as a free course that you can start, and it will show you how to.
Yes, yes. Like the total process, like those people who will be watching and listening this podcast and video, definitely they can get a roadmap regarding this, publishing a book. And the last question comes here, like, what is the estimated cost to publish a book?
Right. Okay. Well, this is difficult because I'm going to be talking in UK pounds. So I don't know what, for example, my editor's actually based in New York. So she charged me $800, which is about £650. However, I don't know if that is what an editor will cost in India. They may charge more, they may charge less. So it's difficult to say. It's really, really difficult to say. What I will say is the best way to do it is to find a business book on Amazon and see if you can get in touch with the author and ask them. It's best to get an idea of what is a normal price to pay for editing, for graphic design, for interior design, typesetting, for publishing on Kindle and paperback. It's best to get an idea. When people don't know, this is when they either two things will happen. Either they will think, oh, it should only cost a small amount. And then the problem is there are people in the world who will just say yes, 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 yes. If they didn't do that, then it'd be good, because then, say for example, if you think you can edit a book, for example, with 300 rupees.
Right. Absolutely. All right. So, are you from UK itself or any other place?
I'm from the UK, so I was born in the UK. My family they are Indian, so they class themselves Indian. But actually, my first language is
Mm.
Bengali. So they came. They came to the UK when Bangladesh wasn't formed. It was still India. So then Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh, the whole thing was India. So
Right.
they think of themselves like, but we're Bengali, we're Bangladeshi. No, we're not Bangladeshi. We're Indian. Like, oh my God, this is now I'm getting into Indian politics. It's like, okay, whatever makes you happy, I will say. So I say to whatever. So people, I say I'm Bangladeshi, I'm Indian, I'm all of these things. I'm actually, if you think about it, I'm Pakistani as well, because Bangladesh was East Pakistan.
Right.
So I'm Indian and Bangladeshi and Pakistani at the same time. So I'm all of these things.
At
So
the end, you are human being.
I know India has a lot of political issues. So I say whatever makes people happy, I'm that thing. So if it makes you happy to know that I'm Bengali, I will say I'm Bengali. If it's happy to make you say I'm Pakistani, I don't care. I'm just a human being. So
I
but
can say one thing, like that is a very diplomatic answer I got.
yes, I have to be, because I have, I have Muslim friends. I'm Hindu, so I've got Hindu friends, and I just think, oh my God, aren't we just all human? Can we not just all like each other and love each other and not have all of these issues? But I know there's a lot. My mother's told me that she actually became a refugee. So when East Pakistan, I'm
Do you know
human first.
any Bengali language?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah, I
know?
speak
Say some
Sileti Bengali. I speak.
something say something.
You want to,
I want to hear.
gosh, it's really difficult. I speak English more than any other language now, so it's really difficult for me to. Let me say. So I will say. I can say, "How are you?" So Sanjay, afne bala sunni.
Hmm.
So I just said, Sanjay, how are you?
Bhala,
Are you well?
right,
Bala
right.
asunni. I'm just saying, are you
Bhala,
well? Yeah.
right, right. It is coming like UK accent. That's why it is like a little bit different.
Oh yes,
Right.
yes, yes. It's very, very difficult. Yeah, yeah. I speak a tiny bit of Hindi as well, and everyone says, "Oh my God, you have such an accent." I don't hear it, but yeah, I
Right.
of course
Okay, one
I speak
sentence
English more than
Hindi.
anything.
One sentence Hindi.
Oh, what's Hindi? Sanjay, I have to say, Hindi is difficult for me. Do you know why? Because I learned Hindi by watching Bollywood films,
Oh,
and the problem with Bollywood films is it's so dramatic. So I can
dramatic.
say very filmy dialogue, but then just asking for a cup of coffee is difficult. I go, oh my God, how do I ask for a coffee in Hindi? I find it very difficult because I didn't learn it organically, whereas I learned English and Bengali organically by just speaking with my family and friends. But Hindi, I learned just from watching Bollywood films. So it's very, very difficult for me. Very
So,
difficult for
who is
me.
your favorite actor?
Gosh. Overall, I would have to say in the 90s and the 2000s, it was Shah Rukh Khan.
Shah Rukh Khan. All
I would
right.
say now,
Hmm.
oh, I do like both Ranveers. I like Ranveer Singh and I
Ranveer
also
Singh.
like Ranbir Kapoor. I think they're both very good. I used to like
Right.
Hrithik Roshan, but he's not very good now. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't really seem to
Still,
resonate with
still
him.
most handsome person in the world. You cannot
He's
deny
quick.
most
He's
handsome
like,
person in
yeah,
the
so
world.
yeah, he's too good looking though, Sanjay. He's too if I dated a guy like that, I wouldn't know what to do with him. I'd be like, it's like, I don't want to touch you because you're too beautiful. It's like
Right.
when you get a beautiful when you get a beautiful birthday cake and you don't want to eat it because it's too beautiful. It's like that. It's like, yeah, you're too good looking. That's
All
not
right.
good.
One request I will say, one request from my side that definitely my audience will love to listen that one dialogue of Shah Rukh Khan. Any dialogue.
Oh. Oh God, what do I say? What do I say? What do I say?
You are a
God,
great
my mind has
fan.
gone blank. I wish you'd told me this. I would have prepared, Sanjay. I would have
You
prepared
are a
something.
great fan.
Uh,
So definitely my audience will love to hear that.
I am a fan, but now I'm trying to think of dialogue
Okay,
that he
Ranbir Singh,
said.
Ranbir Kapoor, anybody's dialogue. Three of them.
Oh God, I'm very bad at remembering dialogue, Sanjay. I can Google dialogue and see if I can find. As soon as I find it, they'll be like, "Oh yes, it comes from this film." But otherwise, I don't always remember straight away the dialogue. Let me just see if I can. I wish you told me this earlier, then I would have prepared.
No, I didn't know that you was a fan of Bollywood and especially Shahrukh Khan. So definitely. Actually, when I saw your name, I thought that she must be from India or any Asian country. All right. So then I realized that yeah, I need to ask whenever we will have conversation. Definitely. All right, because
Yes,
Mithali is something. A name is very famous in India. We call it Mitali. Okay,
Mitali.
Mitali.
Yeah.
Okay, Mithali. As we say in UK accent, Mithali. Okay, so in Indian accent, it is called Mitali.
Yes, I know. It changes. The stress in the name changes. I know. Yeah, it is in the UK they stress the middle of the name, so it's Mitali.
Mithali.
But in Bengali or in Hindi, it becomes Mitali. The stress is in
Mithali.
the beginning of the name. So yeah,
Right.
it's. But see, this is the interesting thing as well, Sanjay. I used to live in Thailand, and in Thailand, in
Thailand.
Phuket, yeah, I lived in Phuket for a while. And in Phuket, there are people from all over the world, all over Europe, all over USA. And I learned that different people say my name. So, for example, South Africans, they say my name like Indian people say it. So they say
Hmm.
Mitali. And I didn't
Mithali.
realize it's like they're South Africa,
Mithali.
but they speak like we do, but British people don't. They speak with a different stress. Okay, let me see if I can find
Yeah.
yeah, like something short. He speaks a lot. This is the problem. He's so
Right.
good at it. He speaks a lot.
Romantic hero, I can say.
He used to be, but he doesn't do so much of that anymore, does he?
No, like he is busy in other activities right now. He's having IPL team, like cricket team right now.
Is it Kolkata Knight
Night
Raiders?
Riders.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah, I think
How did
so.
you know? How did you know?
Because he talks about it in all of his the articles and interviews and everything. They talk about him. Okay, but I'm looking at this, but you know what, some of his best lines are in English. This is the problem.
Okay, like Hindi
I know, but I'm
dialogue.
looking at that. I'm not sure if I'll say it correctly, but
We are having like Mitali ma'am from UK, and she's going to say a dialogue of Shahrukh Khan, and it's amazing. Let's hear. Yeah.
kuch kuch hota hai, Sanjay. That's really all I
Only
can say.
anything you like about food, like UK food or Indian food.
I like eating. Always Indian food. Always Indian food. That is
And
my main thing that I eat. I have to. It's really funny because when I was growing up in the UK, um, there was lots of people from India and Bangladesh and Pakistan coming over to the UK, and they were setting up takeaways and restaurants. So it became the normal thing for most English families is they will eat English food during the week, and then Friday night was takeaway night. Friday was Indian
right,
takeaway night. So all the white families,
right,
that was a big thing for them. It's like Fridays and Saturdays they will have curry and they will look forward to it. And during the week they will have boring English food. When I was growing up, it was the opposite. So what we did is we would have Indian food during the week, and then my mother will
right,
treat me to English food. So on Friday night we would have pizza, and on Saturday we would
right,
have, which it's not even English food. Pizza is Italian actually. And then on Saturday we will have fish and chips, and on Sunday we will have burgers. So it was a reversal. So even though I'm older now, I still do that. My staple food from day to day is Indian food. And then the weekends, I might go, oh, I'll have a pizza, or I'll have fish and chips, or I'll have
right.
something English. I've kept that. So my English friends find it really, really funny because, sometimes, not now because of the pandemic, but before the pandemic, they They would say, "Oh, we're going to a curry house on Friday night. Are you coming?" Like, no.
Last Friday, I was talking to Michael Larson from
Oh
Canada.
yeah.
All right. So he was, yes, he was talking about like his place temperature, and it was minus 15.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I just, yes, I
That's
asked
normal.
that like how low does it go? Then he said that minus 50, 40. I said
Oh
minus
yeah.
40, 50. Like,
I've never experienced that. I've never experienced. I've been so I've been to. I backpacked all the way up to the top of Norway because I wanted to see the Northern Lights. So it was quite
right,
cold there. I think then it was minus 18 or 15, but not minus 50. That's crazy. That is literally, you cannot, at that temperature, you literally, if you just take off something, just if I just this, I will get hypothermia and it will kill me, so it's dangerous. Yeah, Canada. One of my best friends in Phuket is Canadian. He's from
Canadian,
Canada, and he would tell
right,
me, and I was just like, oh my god, that is crazy, right? But isn't it remarkable, Sanjay, that human beings still seem to live? No other species can do this. They have to live where they live. So polar bears can live in the Arctic because they can deal with ice and the cold. But you took a polar bear and you put him in the Sahara Desert, he'll die. He wouldn't be able to cope with the
right,
heat. But human beings, somehow, we managed to just be able to live everywhere. We find a way to live everywhere. It's quite
right.
remarkable.
Right. And one thing I will say, like nowadays, I am like doing two things. Right now, I am pursuing my master degree in business administration. Although I am also doing training in my profession, like public speaking and soft skill trainer. All right. So offline, online, I am doing that, and I am facing one problem, that is reaching to the customer, like to the client, because I am very young right now. And recently, I think 2 years I have started this, and it's becoming a difficult for me to reach out the different like clients. So any message or any suggestion you want to give me so that I can utilize?
So are you saying that it's because you have experience, but they don't even, and they're not even aware that you have the right experience? Where's the dissonance? Where's the issue?
Yes, it means that no, yes, I have little bit experience. All right. And so how can I reach to the customer and they may get to know me and they approach me? How can we do that?
Well, the best way to do that is to demonstrate your expertise. So first of all, your website. Most people have websites where it's just selling them something. What you need to do is, yes, you can have pages selling your services, but also have pages that are just full of knowledge. So that
Right.
demonstrates your expertise. In the same thing on social media as well. Demonstrate your expertise. What I always say is human beings like to see, not just learn something. So let me give you an example. I can say that I'm a great book coach. So I can do, for example, today I will do a live. I can do a live where I just talk about what a wonderful book coach I am. Or I can do a live where I'm giving them tips on how to write a book, such as what we've done
Right.
today in this podcast. That
Right.
actually will get me more response than just saying that I'm great. Don't say that you're great, show that you're great.
Exactly.
So always
Exactly.
do things that demonstrate, and a book is a wonderful way of demonstrating that. A book is, if people publish a book, that demonstrates that you're an expert at this topic, in this niche, in this sector. You must be an expert because you're a published author in this niche. So therefore
Right.
that demonstrates it, but not just through a book. The book is the best way to do it because, like we've already discussed, books are seen differently from every other kind of content. Every other kind of content is abundant. Books are not abundant, and because they're not abundant, they are respected more. So you get more respect. But in
Right.
everything, even on social media, you'll see that if you look at any of my lives, if you look at anything that I do, I'm showing, not just telling. So I'm showing my expertise instead of saying, "Hey, I'm an expert." In fact, I don't even say that. I never do any kind of interviews where I say, "Hey, I'm amazing at what I do." Instead, I say, give them value, and then they will think that I'm amazing because I'm showing them that
Mhm.
I'm an expert. I'm not telling people I'm an expert. I show them I'm an expert.
Mhm.
So always show, don't tell. That's the best way.
Exactly. All right. So, I am absolutely feeling pleasure to have you on my show, which is ES Sanjay also. And thank you so much, ma'am, for giving a valuable time and sharing some knowledge about book publishing. And it's going to be very helpful for my audience and for the all the things all those people who are watching right now. And if you are having any problem book publishing, I am telling you guys, please reach out to Mitali ma'am. She is going to help you definitely in
What
talk to
I'll do
them.
is, if I just say, Sanjay, if you can give your audience a link to my website, on that website, if they leave their name and email address, what I can do is I can give them advance warning of when my book will be available. Because for anybody on my list, I'm going to do a special launch on the 19th of February where they can get it for the smallest price I can put the Kindle on for Amazon, which
Right.
I think will be it'll be 0.99, so it'll be a very very small price. Otherwise it will normally be 3.99. But also if they leave their name and email address on my website, they will get a free guide that goes through the 5 steps of writing and publishing their own book. So we'll have a full
Right.
roadmap on how to write, how to plan, how to write, how to edit, how to publish, and how to promote a business book. So I will give you the link if you want to give that to your audience. They can go and get their they can download their free guide straight away.
Right. So, guys, we are giving a link on your description. You can check it out, and you can go through it, and please download the guide that you initially can help you to write a book. Right.
Yes.
So, all right. So I'm really glad to have you, ma'am, on my show. And we are having fourth today for 50 guests from 50 nations. And you are from UK and you gave a valuable time. And it's amazing. Definitely, my audience will like this. And please, guys, if you like this video, please like, subscribe.
All right, lovely. Thank you, Sanjay. I'll speak to you
Thank you,
soon.
ma'am. Ma'am,
Thanks.
namaste.
Bye. Namaste.
Namaste.
Okay. Bye.